is your March 2023 soul story. If you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, this is your reading. It's Romy here. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel and joining me for the cosmic conversation. So we're opening up with the energy of the sun. And you know what? I think it's the phrase "things come in threes" that I want you to look out for this March. And certainly with the emergence of this as your first guide out, that certainly would suggest that the three things coming through are to celebrate and are definitely going to give you that sense of about time. That said, with Pisces season and 7th house, I feel this month, Virgo, that you are treading this thin line, and you may even be feeling that you're having to navigate some incredibly complex energies and situations in regards to relationships. And perhaps as a result of that, there's an entire reevaluation taking place within you right now on how supported you feel. What's working, what's missing, really taking the time to consider the people that want more for you, not from you. Now, as we open up the month, Venus conjunct Jupiter in Aries, there's this beautiful cosmic boost and an opportunity for expansion. Now, even in Pisces season, we still have a dominance of this fire cardinal energy, which is, of course, your 8th house. So an awful lot of transformational experiences happening for you this March. And the energy overall is one that is bringing us a sense of vulnerability, but at the same time, a profound sense of sacred empowerment. And, you know, that interesting contrast helps you, I think, to come to some uncomfortable realizations, but they end up leading to really beautiful moments and breakthroughs. So as you take care of that inner child, as you address some of the things in the relationships that perhaps have been around for some time, and then you're finally feeling brave enough and strong enough to be able to have the conversation or to decide what the necessary next steps are for you, then the King of Pentacles comes through. And I feel that this is really talking about this energy around the full moon, which of course is in your sign, the 7th of the month. It's also going to be the day that Saturn shifts into Pisces, and so a whole new energy conversation emerging. And the medicine of that full moon is really considering the culmination of ways in which you've changed, things that came up around your solar returns last year, what you wanted to put in place for yourself, how you've been embodying and integrating what you've learned and come to understand, and, you know, really recognizing around that full moon what it's meant for you and your life. And, you know, you are balancing out, I feel, this desire for intimacy and closeness and community, but at the same time, a sacred selfishness to kind of let yourself be, you know, all of the things that you're becoming, and giving more time to yourself, more time in your life to spend on the things that are purely for your advancement, your pleasure, your growth. And I think you will find that balance, because certainly in a month where we welcome equinox coming through, this is the whole theme that's playing out. Now, I've been talking in the soul stories about this idea of us being all in, but that all in being redefined so that there isn't this sacrificing of so much that our nervous systems can't cope, but rather a really strong sense of being able to meet ourselves in the moment and have that sacred pause so that we can really grasp the significance of what's happening and know that we have all of the answers that we need within that given moment. Now, we have the energy of the Chariot coming through here, powering forward. And so as you witness some of the unfoldings of what March has to offer, I think it gives you a sense of validation and a green light, if you like. You have to remember that you need to celebrate yourself this month, not for what you've done, Virgo, but for who you are. Now, the Chariot suggests that even though we are going to arrive at the destination or the outcome that we are setting for ourselves, that the process may be a little bit more turbulent or a little bit more bumpy than we'd anticipated, and yet we're still recognizing the significance of that experience. Now, When we are coming into the mid-month, we're going to have a more tender exchange when Jupiter and Chiron connect in conversation. And this is where some of this vulnerability gets unearthed. And so as it goes for some of the wounds and really invites us to address the healing journey that we've been on and continue to work with, then there may be some situations or conversations that feel incredibly outside of your comfort zone. Okay. And, as a result of where you find yourself during these kind of intimate exchanges, regardless of whether that's coming through personally, professionally, like in any area of your life, there's a lot to learn about how you've changed and what your needs and wants are at this given moment in the journey, because it would be fair to say that as you experience some of these conversations, and it feels to me like you might have had them multiple times, right? So you might be returning to something that you've already discussed and talked through, and yet now there's almost like this quiet whisper, this intuitive nudge that says, you know what, that's not as important as it once was, or actually I don't really want that, or I don't really believe that, or actually I want to have a different emotional response here. So even though that feels vulnerable and perhaps a little bit unsettling for you to acknowledge or to articulate, this drive to become more authentic, to express yourself more from your own essence, is going to be the thing that is dominating that mid part of the month. Now, my Sacred Soul Support this month, Virgo, in the light, is doing a journey around becoming you. We're also in the shadow focusing on dissolving disappointments. I also just want to take this moment to highlight that I'm bringing out my first book, and the pre-orders are now underway, and that will be shipping on the 21st of March. So you can check out all of these additional supportive tools for you in the comment and description box underneath. So we have the Queen of Cups coming through here. And remember, she shows up in a very passive, receptive energy. She needs to listen. And so you're being invited through the course of this month to pay attention, because as you read the energy of the room, then you are going to be able to receive something, especially around that full moon, I think. And maybe even wanting to dip your toe in the water of something that you've never considered before for yourself. You've maybe seen other people try it or experiment with it, and all of a sudden you're feeling like, you know what, this is something that I could do or that I could explore. I want to remind you that through the 8th house energy of Aries, and not just when we move into Aries season from the 20th, but also with the planets in this sign in the first part of the month, we have this intensity that comes through. But there's also an awful lot of power that can be wielded when we're harnessing 8th house energy. In fact, you also have the capacity from a financial perspective to experience chance windfalls or major shifts and trajectory changes in regards to financial outlook. So again, as we talk about things coming in threes, I want you to open up to the magic of that. Yeah. And my guide's saying to me, like, this is a time to start expanding your whole mindset in terms of the conversations that you have energetically. I need you to be talking to the elements more than you ever have. Connect to the trees, talk to the wind, move with the water. Invite in these 7th dimensional beings that exist as you work with dragon energy and unicorn energy. And, regardless of where you are on your spiritual path, as you continue to ascend and awaken and open up, you're going to realize more and more how much is going on at any given moment that you can tune into and that is supportive in these transformational experiences. And this is really where all of this magic resides. So beautiful message coming through in relation to that. And I feel like from a spiritual perspective, you're going to get such a beautiful sign showing up for you this month, perhaps from someone in spirit that you've been wanting to hear from, or from your guide, or just having like a reflection on how far you've come in terms of the work that you've been putting in this area of your life. Okay, we've got the Five of Wands, so there's a bit of an electrical charge going on. But you know what I quite like is you're actually turned away from the ruckus and the chaos and the frenzy and the arguments and the competitiveness. And it's just kind of like, you know what, I want to do my thing and I want to do it my way. And, you know, there may be times where you have to withdraw from the group, withdraw from the family, withdraw from the experiences that keep trying to disrupt your peace, because ultimately this month is about you, your life, and your peace. And you're really putting things in order and trying to come to more considerate priorities about what comes next. And, you know, we're going to be welcoming Juno, asteroid goddess, in Taurus, and also Venus in Taurus mid-month as well. And so in these earth signs, the way that we come to new agreements, how we're valuing ourselves in love and money, you know, all of these things, we want to have a sense of sustainability. We want them to start seeding from a place that we know, like, this is going to be able to take care of me, not just now but in the future. So there's a bit of a shift and a change in attitude that I feel also starts to emerge through this month of March, where you're thinking about your life and things that are important to you within family or relationships or your work, and maybe just like altering your strategy or coming in with new adjustments. And that's so much better a use of your energy and time than trying to compete or getting caught up in trying to convince anyone of anything, because ultimately there's so many people who are choosing to have a very unconscious experience right now. And in many ways, Virgo, you know, it's actually part of their soul contract to do that, to not awaken, to kind of hold that contrasting sense of polarity, so that actually we all get to experience the growth and expansion. So as you continue to evolve rapidly and ascend into a deeper sense of knowing and truth around, you know, your beliefs, you don't need to expect everyone's going to join you. In fact, the more that you do, the more likely you are to feel frustrated and start to limit your own ability to experience things. And, you know, I've said this in a couple of other soul stories, it's been coming up quite a lot, that when you do have these really amazing, unique, sometimes miraculous, magical things that happen to you, sit with it just a little longer with yourself, because the minute that you divulge that or share that with someone, it just gets somewhat watered down, especially if you've got a little competitiveness or envy or insecurity from other people. And, you know, it can just rob you of that fullness and something that you are meant to be sitting with and immersing and enjoying wholeheartedly. So we have the wheel coming through here. Again, it's been showing up a lot this month, and the synchronicity of events feels like it's bringing things around full circle. And so you may have some situations and experiences that feel like you're back where you were, except with a whole new level of understanding and a different type of opportunity. So I want to translate that as maybe even feeling like what shows up for you, and this is coming in very lucky, very synchronistic and fated, maybe something that you asked for a long time ago and it didn't work out, and all of a sudden it's boomeranged back in. So here's where we need to take a check on ourselves. Are we ready to receive? You know, have we dealt with some of those uncomfortable realizations within ourselves about what happened last time, what went wrong, how we responded, and what our part to play was in it? Because I feel like this is almost a little test, but there's a beautiful reward that comes right off the back of it. So when you approach equinox, which is going to come in on the 20th, we've then got the new moon in Aries right after it, and beautiful time to kind of just harness and drive forward what the new agenda feels like for you. And, you know, I think that as you try to balance out this need to sort of be around others and at the same time like take care and prioritize the well-being of you, the boundaries that get kind of drawn around you as well are going to put you in a place where you are able to say yes. So what you might find is that, you know, had this shown up like a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, you would never have been able to, or even been brave enough to say, yes, I'll make time for this. But all of a sudden there's something shifting in you in March that says, I can't not do this. I can't not allow this to come in because I know what I'm meant to learn. And this is also a wider theme about you really starting to create a life of substance for yourself. And March brings in this beautiful energy of a clean slate. We also have Pluto shifting into Aquarius, your 6th house, so transformational energy around being of service, your health, routines, sacred service, and of course Mars finally moving out of Gemini and into the sign of Cancer. So big planetary shifts this month mean that, you know, you are going to be tested a little bit in trying to find your sea legs, so to speak. That's why we're saying you're going to be walking this thin line through the course of this month, and especially in the 8th house. You know, there might be some big intense conversations taking place around, you know, people who are married or major professional agreements, things that are connected very strongly to finances. And yet, you know, you emerge from this whole experience in March, I feel, more clear than ever before about what matters to you and why, and what you're going to do about it. And on the 27th, 28th, we have Mercury and Jupiter in deep conversation, again giving this beautiful boost of you being able to articulate that message to whoever needs to hear it, most importantly to yourself, actually, just so that you're really affirming correctly with your attention and your intention the things that matter. And so as you have almost what I feel is like a new level of ambition showing up, you're also able to kind of harness that in a way that serves you and takes care of the people around you in a way that they honor and respect, you know. So there might be some shifts and changes that have to take place because of what you are now deciding or putting into place, and you just have to be all in with that, like we said. So if you're new to the channel, we pull the final 3 cards in the extended version of my reading. You will find the link for that in the comment and the description box underneath. I'm just going to go ahead now and clarify the main reading, Virgo, just see what direction we're going to be taking this in the extended and additional messages that might want to show up. So beginning just with the energy of the Sun. We've got the 2 of Coins there. A lot of nice fun energy showing up there, actually. 6 of Wands. Okay, we've got the energy of the Moon. Queen of Wands. Temperance. And another Wheel of Fortune. Interesting. Lots of twists and turns coming through for you this month. Just be prepared for that unexpected is what I want to say. Some nice 8s showing up. Another Chariot. I like when we get the double cards. It just really affirms, you know, what Spirit are trying to bring through. All the decks that I use are also listed below for your information. Okay, and I'm just going to invite you to think about a personal question as well, Virgo. Again, we will pull some specific cards for you on that to cover off in our next reading. And so just using Life Soul Vision Oracle now, which is my own personal deck, so you can check that out over on my website. Let's have a look here. Sacred Soul Union. Of course, 7th house energy, you know, it is all about relationships in Pisces season, so there's going to be a lot unfolding for you in regards to those more intimate connections in your life, having the opportunity to go to the next level or really explore the ways in which you're being invited to change. And you know, Saturn in Pisces is going to be a conversation and themes you'll be working with for the next 2.5 years in regards to this area. Okay, you have Rise and Love Equinox coming through as well. Beautiful. Okay, and let's just finally pull an energy oracle for you. Okay, we have your root chakra, Archangel Michael. Beautiful. Thank you so much for tuning in, Virgo. I will continue this and see you on the extended if you're joining me then. Otherwise, I'm going to wish you a beautiful month ahead. You take good care of yourself. I'll see you again next time.